The Day the Birds Disappeared. Written and read by Jim Bentley. Vailima was a model village from many points of view. Its people were progressive, hard-working, and happy. They loved and valued their children and placed great importance on family life. The villagers' houses were of sound construction and arranged in a rectangle around a traditional marae. Colorful flower beds and well-maintained lawns were attractive features of the settlement. On the seaside of the village center was a school building large enough to accommodate all Vailima preschool and primary school children. The structure reflected the importance of education to this modern community, who eventually sent their sons and daughters to the central secondary school along the coast. Vailima's plantations, like the village, were well planned, well kept, and very productive. Over many years, the gardeners had successfully combined traditional and modern agricultural techniques. None of the men or women had to leave the village for employment. The income from surplus agricultural produce sold at the central market was sufficient to support the community, its programs, and council. A small Christian church at the northern end of the village served the spiritual needs of the people. One of their own had been trained to be the pastor. Similarly, medical and health needs were met by a general practitioner, a matron, and a nursing sister. Attention was available at all hours at a medical center attached to the community hall. Pigs and chickens were grown in ample numbers. Fish were plentiful in the sea. Bans on alcohol, kava, tobacco, and marijuana were in place. Vailima represented an idyllic Pacific lifestyle. Considerable priority was placed on children's education so that the youth grew up prepared for community leadership and professional roles. In addition, there was emphasis on adult community education. A continuing information program by health specialists, nutritionists, agriculturalists, educationists, the police, and other experts was organized by the village council. Each day, at morning recess, the school children shared their snacks with their special friends, the birds. The creatures flocked to the school and to the beach area near the school building. The children learned to appreciate and love their feathered friends and gave them names. Great alarm was displayed when any of the regular bird visitors went missing. Once a week, the teachers would lead their pupils on a field trip to observe the lifestyle of the larger birds which crowded rocky sections of the sea coast not far away. On these excursions, the pupils were able to study birds nesting on rocky ledges and in nearby trees. They viewed newly born birds in their nests and observed how parent birds constructed the nests. The children looked forward to the bird excursions and became familiar with many different species, including those which traveled great distances from the northern hemisphere to the Pacific. Golden plover, godwits, shearwaters, herons, ring-billed gulls, terns, egrets, parrots, Pigeons and doves were among the species the children regarded as friends. Occasionally, men gardening in the bush plantations caught a multicolored parakeet. The children made drawings of the beautiful creature before returning it to the wild. Gradually, the effects of climate change caused by global increases in greenhouse gas emissions were experienced by the people of Vailima. This once wonderfully peaceful and balanced environment was altered. There were extended spells of heavy tropical rain, lasting several days at a time. Chief Matavutu led his people in adopting ways of coping with the effects of the heavy deluges. The 5 creeks running through Vailima tribal land often burst their banks. The resulting flash floods came dangerously close to community homes. Retaining walls were constructed to prevent soil erosion and landslides. Levees were built to prevent flooding of the gardens, farm animal enclosures, and living areas. Safety drills and swimming lessons for all children were conducted by teachers and invited police trainers. Children were provided wet weather boots and hooded raincoats. At other times, the villagers experienced long periods of hot, dry weather. From dawn to dusk, the blazing sun heated and dried everything under its influence. Trees and vegetable gardens wilted. Flowers withered in the ground. Water had to be carried from the creeks to the plantations to ensure that plants survived. Several of the waterways almost dried up. The chief had to post 24-hour guards at the plantation and animal rearing sites to prevent marauding gangs stealing their fruit, vegetables, root crops, and farm animals. Skirmishes developed. Men were hurt, some very seriously. Precious food supply was lost. Central police were called in. Convicting the culprits was difficult. The criminals grew bolder. Chief Matavutu and his people were additionally stressed. On a moonlit Saturday evening, a super springtide sent the sea flowing through the primary school located near the beach. A communique was sent to the island government center several kilometers away. The authorities had received many similar adverse reports. They sent a man to explain why the damaging climatic conditions had occurred. The environmental specialist informed the people gathered in the Vailima Community Center that global warming is largely caused by heavy industrial pollution produced in foreign countries. Heavy air pollution produces greenhouse gases. These gases form a barrier in the atmosphere around the planet, trapping heat. This raises the temperature of the Earth. The most abundant greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone. Prior to widespread industrial pollution, these gases occurred in balanced, proportional quantities in our atmosphere. Atmospheric pollution upsets nature's balance and sets in train a series of undesirable effects on our planet and on all forms of plant and animal life. One of the most serious effects of heavy industrial pollution is the overproduction of carbon dioxide. These emissions are produced in large volume on the continents of North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Excessive carbon dioxide is produced by various means. The use of fossil fuel in the generation of electrical energy, the operation of industrial plant and machinery, large-scale burning, and the running of motor vehicles of all kinds. Higher levels of carbon dioxide contribute significantly to increases in atmospheric temperature. This leads to higher ocean surface temperatures. Ocean acidity increases when excess carbon dioxide dissolves in the sea to form carbonic acid. Global warming causes premature melting of glacial ice at the Earth's north and south poles. This creates undesirable, uncontrollable sea level rise. Higher ocean temperatures have serious effects on climatic conditions. Extended periods of drought and wet weather, as well as cyclones of greater intensity, can occur. The only means of reducing global warming is to reduce global pollution levels. The solutions lie with the industrialized countries of the Earth's main continents. Chief Matavutu and his people were saddened by the news. They felt helpless because they couldn't do anything about global warming, sea level rise, and climate change. All they could do was protect their families and village from the detrimental effects of these phenomena sent to prey on them by unseen assailants. The children of Wailima were disadvantaged when their school building was flooded. Classes were moved to the community center while their fathers and brothers rebuilt the primary school at the new site. During this period, the teachers postponed field trips in order to catch up with the work syllabus. But one Friday after lunch, Mistress Vulawalu announced that everyone could adjourn to the cliffs to visit the bird colony. All of the children were happy and chattered excitingly as they wound their way along the path towards the bird sanctuary. But a great surprise awaited Mistress Vulaono and her charges. Not a twitter of sound was heard as they approached the nesting area. They were amazed not to see a single bird. All the nests were empty. The birds had flown away to an unknown destination. The parent birds had taken their young with them. Only a few eggshells remained in the abandoned nests. The character of the once attractive natural area had changed completely. Mistress Vulawalu and the children stared at each other in silence. All that could be heard was the crashing of the sea waves against the bare, rocky shore. Why had the Wailima children's bird friends disappeared?